My name is Justin, and I'm playing the role of Anthony.
My name's Chris Tandy.
My name is Nancy, and I play Amy Lane.
The character I'm playing is Wes, a bit egotistic, boyish, overconfident, which is probably his weakness.
Well, my name is Julia, and I'm playing Nicole in this new film, Darkness in Mind.
Love the idea of the film. I think Steve put it across in a way that it was clear it was horror. It was clear that there was a lot of hell and mystery involved in it, but there was enough that it wasn't so obvious that kind of it dragged you in. And got the role of Mickey.
Yeah, I mean this is actually a very different type of character to what I'm normally casting. I'm normally casting the edgy kind of characters, the villainous or the anti-hero, something with a little less vulnerability than what Anthony has. So there was a lot of research that had to go on in terms of finding those realities inside of myself. 'Cause I think as people, we spend a lot of our life building ourselves up, building our confidence up, to then eventually put yourself in a situation where that confidence has gone and you've got to show that vulnerability. Was quite an interesting journey, and that's I think where a lot of the preparation went into. And that also came from physicality as well. I found him, I think, more through the physicality of the character, what type of guy, how he would present himself to the world, and then work backwards from that, if that makes sense.
She's a really shallow character. She just cares about her looks. Everything about her is her looks and all the stuff. Through the movie, you can see her changing to a better person, but you know, she's just this shallow person.
I don't know. I like Wes. He's fearless. He's a fearless character, and that's what I liked about him. I mean, he's got the most craziest one-liners I've ever heard in my life. And even when he meets the hypnotist, the bad guy, he just seems completely fearless whatsoever. It doesn't bother him whatsoever in the slightest. The only time he sort of reacts to the hypnotist is when he gets a nasty shock.
You start to realise this is getting a bit serious.
Well, she is a very strong and independent person, I think. She has very strong views and not necessarily a leader as such, but I think she knows when to make a decision, a radical decision, and she sticks by it, and that's just the way it is, and I don't think she really cares about what the others might or might not think of it. But I think in terms of relationships, she gets along well with everyone. She's still someone who is quite approachable as such, and working, like a team member. She obviously has this sort of on-off relationship with Mickey, and she knows that she can wrap him around her little finger, so she knows how to play him, so she's quite manipulative as such, and I think that obviously throws him a little bit. He's sort of quite an insecure person.
I'm Tamsin Dunstone, and I play, the only way to describe it is really a dead girl. Although I do speak and I do move around, I am initially a dead girl. Which is quite unlike what I usually play.
What do you usually play?
Generally, if I'm playing on stage to live theatre, which I love to do, then it's very energetic characters, whereas this one is not. Bubbly, bold characters, anything that involves a loud voice, hysterical, anything like that. I also do modelling for like fashion shoots, since I've had my hair cut, which you can't obviously see at the moment, I've got a lot more work, like modelling. Even if it's things like clothes, which you hardly even see. But having said that, when I do films, most of my show reel consists of psycho killers. Either I'm killing someone or I'm killing myself, mean bitches, always in a lot of makeup. I never look pretty, I'm never the girl next door, and it's always quite bad foul language as well, really. So I'm getting used to this, definitely.
Well, I actually like horror movies, so I watch a few horror movies. And about my character, I've got a good example. My cousin is exactly like Emmeline. So I used to follow her around when I was a kid, so I know how to be Emmeline because of her. Yeah. The film is about these 5 people, these 5 characters that, well, they're friends, and they just decide to go to this house on a weekend with this hypnotist because all of them have like issues and they want to fix it. But what they don't know is that things are gonna turn out differently as what they expected, so look out for it.
Now Mickey's sort of a sort of self-assumed leader of the group, I think you'd put him as. So he likes to try and remain cool and calm under pressure, although really he's no real hero about the film. You know, he's a fairly regular guy. He gets nervous, he gets scared, but tries to think with a sort of level head. And sort of cottons on. I think he gets a lot of strength from his relationship with Nicole in the film, played by Julia. There's a suggested love interest there, although we don't really ever see anything. And he sort of plays the role, and I think he uses her to kind of like protect her in certain scenes. I think that's where he gets some of his strength from, to, I think, bolster his own confidence in a way.
For my character, I mean, he's always been very reluctant to form relationships anyway. So there are relationships sort of developing. I think he feels a bit of infatuation with Nicole, who's played by Julia. But because there's obvious chemistry between Mickey and Nicole, you know, I think it's a step that he kind of hasn't taken any further. Something that kind of surprised me with regards to playing Anthony and being involved in that group was that I eventually started to look up to Wesley, which I thought was very strange. But I feel that Wesley perhaps had some of the qualities that Anthony kind of admired. You know, the strength of the character, the fact that he wasn't afraid of confrontation. And I think in a way Anthony wanted to kind of be Wesley in a way, despite actually not liking the actual character, but having that mutual respect for him. So that was something quite interesting that I didn't think would kind of happen. But eventually, after living it and going through it, it became a reality, which is kind of interesting, I think.
You must be nervous. Plays havoc with the memory. I don't blame any of you. People have been known to lose their sanity in these rooms.
My sanity is fitted with a homing device.
In terms of relationship with other characters, probably more towards Anthony, who's got stutter problems with his parents, being told that he's nobody's worthless, he's only there to entertain them. And as soon as everyone's starting to opt out of the house, Wes is the only one who wants to stay in because he wants the ride of his life, his money's worth. And Anthony sort of looks up to him and thinks to himself, yeah, I'm with Wes on this. I'm going to stick with him. I want to see this thing right out to the end. And in the end, Anthony does become a different person. He becomes more stronger, more confident. And whereas the others are looking for a quick exit out of the house, he's facing his demons, really. Facing all the things that he's questioned himself about.
Really, honestly, with a role like this, it's when I get into makeup. That's when you completely change. The makeup has everything to do with the role and how I can prepare for it, because I only speak once as a dead woman anyway, and afterwards it is all to do with hair and makeup and the way I look. And then once I've seen myself as that, then obviously you can prepare for the character, definitely.
Not too much. I mean, the main difficulty with Mickey was that 2 weeks into filming, of course, I broke my fibula, and was kind of worried that I was actually going to get dropped from the whole part, because this is a sort of year-long project that's going to be going on. Steve, thank God, kept me going through it, and we sort of were able to get through scenes by Mickey turning up at a door, saying his line, then we'd cut somewhere else, wheel me across stage, and then pick up the action again. So that was by far and away the most challenging thing, was trying to make out that he was a lot more mobile than I actually was at the time. And I'm fascinated to see any of the sort of special effects that Steve sticks in and things. But it didn't work out too bad, because I think I get probably the most injured out of all the characters in the film. I'm continually stabbed or shot, that sort of stuff. So the realistic limp that crops up halfway through worked all right.
Cool. I think that covers preparation. I mean, accidental preparation for the film.
Absolutely, yeah. I did find myself starting to spookily live the life of Mickey without realising it. Certain things were going on. Like I say, Mickey gets injured. I would actually go and break my leg in real life. Mickey has a massive bust-up with his assumed girlfriend. I don't know, a relationship will break down for me. So I like to think that I haven't been too cursed by the character. But it's been a lot of fun, and great cast and crew.
Oh God!
Shit! Oh, what the fuck was that?
We're not supposed to do that. How can this be?
We need to find the hypnotist.
There was a couple of punches thrown. I got to throw one of them, which I'm quite happy about. Got my one in there. There was a little kerfuffle between Mickey and Wes, which went down a bit of a storm. Also me and Wes.
Yeah, I fell down a couple of times on my arm, and after a while it just ballooned up. After a few hours of just falling down the right arm all the time, so I had to improvise and fall down basically on my side rather than my arm. That was a long day.
Well, I used to sing before, but now I'm just acting. I do have other projects, theatre, musical plays and all the stuff. No modeling. And well, I would like to get into more dramatic role, like how can I say? Like I'm really good at crying and all the stuff, so I would like to get like a really dramatic role. Yeah.
And you didn't cry as a person or as an actor in this film?
I did cry, but it wasn't the kind of crying of pain that you feel in real life. It was just because all about my character is her looks, and because something happened to her looks, she cries, just because of that. So it's not a reason that I would cry for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's more extreme than somebody just smudged her mascara.
Yes. Not just mascara, it's more extreme. But no, it's not something I would cry for either.
I mean, we've been working quite a lot on the scenes in hell and sort of the flying sequences, and which we've obviously worked on with very limited. It's only really been the stage, a few lights, and everything else is really dark. So that, I think, would be quite something to see when it's finished, because at the moment we don't really know what it's going to look like, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to look quite powerful, and with the special effects as well added to it, that would probably be a good thing to have for the trailer. And also there are a few scenes that I haven't even seen, people who've obviously been involved, and the Pip and Pop, for example, which is the Anthony's parents, I've heard have got really good scenes as well, which I'm actually quite intrigued to see. So I'm trying not to see too much now, because I'd like to be able to see the film as a whole once it's fully made. So yeah.
A knack of either playing either a monster or a vampire or something bizarre. Wouldn't mind playing a romantic role, but I keep going for them, but I don't seem to get them. I seem to get the psychotic ones, the Jack Nicholson type characters.
I would like to play Anthony, because he changes drastically. Like his changes totally, just drastical change. So I would like to do that. Yeah.
person that's come along in terms of the journey, really, probably Anthony. Because Mickey is Mickey's himself all the way through. He's honest with himself. And in the end, there's not much wrong he's actually done. Whereas Anthony is looking for, I don't know, self-discovery, really. And I think that's what I really liked about Anthony. In the end, he sort of becomes Wes, really. He gains that sort of strength and moves on. But I don't know about the other characters. Nicole's character. Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise there when I saw her parts. I didn't really look at her script until I saw it, and I thought, it's a bit of a surprise. But yeah, probably Anthony. That's the character I'll probably try to be.
I'm happy to say that there's, like I say, the way it's been shot and the way that it's been written, there's enough interest that I think I can genuinely say when I get to watch it, I will only have half a clue at best at the way this is all going to come out. So it's a bit of a mystery film for me as well at the moment. But hopefully, one that everyone enjoys and we learn a few lessons from.
Why, if that's the type of person he would be, how does he react to each situation? And he seems to react almost the same. I'm just going to go in, do what I want to do. Basically, he thinks about himself all the time, mainly. Or he thinks about women, which he tried it on twice with 2 different women.
Has it been difficult keeping? It's been a long shoot. Breaks in between.
Yeah, breaks in between. Had to do other stuff as well, other films. But it's weird because this is like the last final bit now. This is coming up to closure time. Yeah, it's been good. It's been an enjoyable experience, really. If anything, I've learned more from it. And you sit down and you think to yourself, well, actually, I'll take some of the experience I've got from this and move it into the other films I do afterwards.
I'd love to play Wes. Just because I don't think there's any bad characters in film, just interesting characters. So yeah, someone who's very much of a protagonist, goes around doing what they want when they want to do it and having that freedom to do it. I quite like characters and people like that. So it'll probably be Wes to have that freedom involved in building the character and living the character.
It does, yeah, without giving obviously too much away. But she does, yeah. No, she knows what she's done, and I think it's coming to terms with and accepting the fact of what she's actually done, and what she's experienced in the past, which is obviously traumatizing each and every one of the characters. But I think she is the one who knows why she's in there and what she needs to. Not necessarily knows what she needs to do to make it better, because obviously that's the reason why they're all there, to just make sure that get the answers or becoming better person, a better person as such. But yeah, she does know.
Steve. Oh, Steve's lovely. We all love Steve. Bless him. I think he's going grey after doing this. He's done so much hard work. I think you always feel sort of empathy towards the director as well, because they have to put up with people like me all the time. And obviously there's been like long breaks in filming, and getting everyone together again is always, it's difficult. And having to figure out what time people have got to be there, what the makeup's going to be like, and continuity. When you break it up and you've had like a couple of months off, although he's still in the same frame, other people have already worked, so they have to obviously adjust and get back into it. And so you have to empathise with the man, bless him. But he's always so lovely, always literally true to his name, Jolley. Really, really jolly, honestly. Yeah, really, really nice guy to work with. And I think that's half the reason why I chose to come and work on this production. It wasn't for the part, obviously, unless I've got a fascination with playing dead people. But no, he's just really, really genuine bloke, really, really nice to work with. Yeah, definitely.
The good things about the direction, about our director Steve, is that he allowed us to change the script. Like if there was something that we weren't happy with, we could change it. He left us to improvise a little bit. So it was good because of that, and it was quite funny.
The Jolley director. It's actually been a lot of fun. I mean, as a lot of us have been doing, I mean, we're all fairly new to the acting game. We're all still learning and got loads to learn, and it's all been a massive learning process for us all. But as well as it has been for Steve, obviously being a first-time director, sort of feeling each other out, and sort of finding a path together, which has been kind of cool.
It's been fun. It's been a roller coaster, and thanks for the opportunity, really, to play Wes in a feature. It's funny because I was thinking there's certain clothes I've got. I thought I have to get rid of them. I thought I'm going to miss Wes. It's a character that I've become used to. Then again, I've been walking around like I'm pumped up all the time. I think I need to calm down now because Wes is a bit up himself and super confident.
When we first started off, I mean, I think that Steve was really organised in a sense of wanting to be as productive as possible with the time that he had with us, because obviously we were only really available over weekends, or I think we might have done a few weekdays as well, but he obviously knew that when we all met, that time was quite valuable, and he needed to make sure that we all knew what we were doing. He also gave really good character backgrounds, so that we actually knew what we could work on. And as soon as there was something that needed to be changed in the script, he obviously let us know straight away, and so we had plenty of time to think about it and work it out. So the structure of it all, I've been really happy with actually, and think that it's been quite clear, and we've had good communication with him as well. And if things are not working, we've been able to air that as well, and we've sort of come to a conclusion of a scene that then actually ends up working really well. And so he's also had a good ear and to listen to all the sort of advice, but when as an actor you kind of know when it's not right, when you feel I can't really grasp this particular scene or this particular moment, and what's my relationship towards the others, and if it's when the dynamic is not working. So I thought that was quite good that you could sort of speak and air that to him, and he took it on board and he really respected it. So yeah, it's been good. Yeah.
The character that I'm playing, Anthony, has got a very large arc. So he goes from this skinny loser who's scared of confrontation to eventually going full circle and standing up for himself, and eventually when you come to the end of the film, doing something rather nasty.
Oh, I wanted to add in something with Jolley.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, so just to round it off with everyone on board and lovely people to work with, I think we have created a jolly good film.
I love it. Okay. nice.
I was kind of going, I need to have something.
Yeah. Go on. You're only the 7th person to use that line.
Yeah, because I thought, oh no, really?
I'm joking with you.
How many jollies have you had though? Have you had quite a few
No,
jollies?
I've had from my therapist.
Oh.